Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple back again, and today we are going to move on with part number 2 of our review of the Russian 24-hour mountain ration, FSB as it's called. Once again, remember this is menu number 2, and we've done the unboxing and breakfast portion already, and now for this part here we're going to hopefully try to break it down into the other 2 meals. We'll call it dinner and supper. So we still have a pile of stuff left in here. So what I'm going to have to do now, I suppose, is break the rest of this apart, and we'll lay out what we're going to have for our next meal, which will be dinner. So we'll be back in 1 second. Alright everyone, so we got everything laid out now that we're going to have for our dinner portion of this review. So there's an awful lot of items in this ration, so I know that the supper menu that we'll have later will have an awful lot of food items to go along with it. But what we went with for this particular meal is an instant buckwheat kasha with meat, I believe, and then this one is pearl barley kasha, and then we've also got I guess a luncheon meat kind of item, which is roughly translated to sausage stuffing. It says sausage stuffing amateur. I don't know exactly what the amateur thing is supposed to be. Then we're going to mix up our cherry drink, and then we've got a pack of crackers to go along with our chocolate spread. Now, I don't know if it's got hazelnuts in it as well, or if it's just a chocolate spread, but sort of kind of the same general idea as Nutella. And then just keeping with the chocolate thing, we'll have another one of these great chocolate bars that go with it. Also, got our little Russian spoon to go with the chocolate spread. I've got my own Nutella spife, as they call it, spoon-knife combo. So we'll use that. And yeah, also comes with an FRH. That's how we're going to heat up our main meal. It comes one pad like this. Just open up the bag, put in, it says 100 mils of water, plus or minus 10 mils, so anywhere from 90 to 110, obviously. And the ration also comes with a second heating pad. So it comes with a second main retort pouch meal like that. So we'll use that one for the supper portion. So, first thing we can get going, I suppose, is our main meal. Just as well to get that started. So we'll tear the top off the bag, as it says. Comes with 2 little tape pieces here. So we'll get one of those off and ready. Doesn't want to cooperate very well, hold on. There we go, and we'll obviously take the instruction sheet out. We don't need to cook that piece of paper. And then we'll lay the pad down here like that. It says to add anywhere from 90 to 110 mils of water. So we'll just kind of eyeball that. Get the heating element nice and wet, and then we're going to throw our main meal in there. We'll fold our bag over a little bit. And reseal it with the tape. And then we'll just let that sit there and see what that does. I don't really hear it activating yet. I don't know if I was supposed to put salt in it or not, but I guess we'll find out. So next, I guess we can get our kasha and our drink ready. So we'll just get a couple glasses for that. We'll do our cherry drink first. Remember, these are it's incredibly large granules of sugar in these drinks, as you'll see once we tear it open. And the tear notch that's there doesn't want to work properly. I have to get like a knife or a scissors. So yeah, as you can see, very large granules. And then we're going to open up our kasha, and we'll get that into a glass. We'll just prepare it in a glass like this and see how that goes. So as you can see, it just looks obviously like buckwheat. And this says to mix with 150 mils of water. That doesn't want to focus for some reason. But it is 150 mils water. There you go. And it would appear that the FRH is finally reacting. And I don't know if you can see, but the water itself is actually boiling inside that packet. And whoa, there we go. I don't know what metal they use in this, but it doesn't smell the greatest. The kitchen's not gonna smell very good after this. While that's doing its thing, we're gonna go get some water for this and for this. First, for this drink, it's a little bit of a trick you can use. Put a little bit of hot water in there first, and then that sort of helps dissolve the sugar crystals a bit more easily, and then you add the rest of your cold water. And this gets 150 mils of hot water. So I'm going to be back in 1 second. Alright, so we got a little bit of hot water here in our cherry drink just to sort of get that going. And we've got some hot water in our kasha, which has already rehydrated pretty well. But first, let's just stir this up a bit. As you can see, even with warm water, it doesn't want to dissolve very easily. There's a little bit left there, but for now, we'll just put cold water in it. Lay that off to the side. And then now we'll stir up our kasha. I don't see a whole lot of meat in there, but it certainly has that kind of beef stock kind of smell coming off it, so that's a good thing. And yeah, we'll just leave that there as it is, and you can see the FRH is still doing its thing with our main meal. I guess we don't really have a whole lot left. We'll move this off to the side a little bit, and let's at least open up our sausage. I'm not going to heat it up. I'm going to try it out sort of room temperature, see how it is, and let's see if it actually is a luncheon meat kind of looking thing. And there you go, it's exactly what it looks like. It's got this sort of congealed fat kind of thing going on. And we'll get our pack of crackers open, because this will go with a lot of our stuff. We can try it out with the kasha, try it out with the luncheon meat, you know, chocolate spread. So multi-purpose kind of thing. I decided to go with one of the good packs. Seems like, surprisingly enough, all 8 crackers in this pack are in perfect shape. So that doesn't happen very often. Yeah, so I guess we can open up the rest of our items. Get our chocolate bar ready to go for later. Once again, like the previous one, nice piece of dark chocolate. No bloom or anything. And we'll open up our chocolate spread. Doesn't want to focus. Go. Of course, the cover doesn't want to come off very easily either. Yeah, it definitely has hazelnuts in there. It does smell sort of exactly like Nutella, so hey, there you go. Russian version of Nutella is basically what we're going to be having. We're going to let the main still, you know, heat up a little bit more. But while we're here, maybe we'll get a few of our other items to try. So let's just try out this stuffing sausage mixture, whatever they call it. So it's mostly a pork kind of thing. It's got a few little black flecks in there. Maybe it's got a little bit of black pepper, something like that. Usually not a big fan of luncheon meat pate kind of thing, which I know, doesn't bode well when you're going to have especially Eastern European rations. But let's at least give this a try and see how it is. Yeah, I guess I'm just not a fan of this kind of thing. At first, it kind of, oddly enough, kind of tastes a little bit like hot dogs or like sausage kind of thing. Obviously, it's called sausage stuffing, but it has an initial flavor, and then the aftertaste is just really not good at all. Doesn't come across your palate very well. Not particularly enjoyable. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to want to have any more of that. Let's just cleanse the palate a little bit. Try this cherry drink. It's gone very, as you can see, a pale sort of pink kind of color. Oh yeah, that's really nice and refreshing. That really helps that a lot. Well, let's try our kasha a little bit. I know it's weird to sort of mix it up in a glass like this, but it seems to have reconstituted fairly well. It's kind of like a very thick oatmeal porridge kind of looking thing. Still a lot of steam coming off of it. It's got a great smell. And let's see if the taste matches how good the smell is. Oh yeah, that's incredibly tasty. It's got a great, well, as per what it is, buckwheat, wheat kind of flavor. There is meat in there. It's not a strong meat flavor. You're getting more of the wheat kind of thing. But it's got like a nice breading or stuffing, I guess, kind of flavor to it, which is probably the best way to describe it. I think maybe a little bit of salt and pepper probably would go well with it. We do have a little pepper packet, so let's just try some pepper on there, just for argument's sake. Whoa, yeah, kind of overdid it there, which I think I've done the last time I did a Russian review. My IRP review I did a number of months ago. But anyway, let's try a little piece here with some black pepper on it and see what that does. Not to say it's bad to begin with. It's actually very, very tasty. I'm just sort of trying to see here if this takes it to a whole other level. And oh yeah, that makes it so much better. Makes it more of like a down-home kind of flavor. Like you've got like a cooked Sunday dinner kind of thing. Yeah, that black pepper makes it amazing. Well, yeah, I got high hopes for the rest of this now. I've never actually had kasha before. For any Russian ration I've had so far, oddly enough, has never actually contained any kasha, so it's interesting to try it in this form. And now I'm very interested to see how this particular kasha, the pearl barley kasha, has fared. So, we're going to open up our packet. It's still very, very hot. The plastic has actually sort of resealed itself. Make too much mess, but this is incredibly hot. So let's open it up. So as you can see, it certainly has that pearl barley kind of look to it. Probably not the most appetizing looking thing, but it certainly has a wonderful smell to it. A little bit in the centers, maybe not quite cooked through as much as I had hoped, but around the leading edges here, it looks very good. Now it's weird looking at it like this. It's not probably the most visually appealing thing, especially when it comes to color. There's a lot of beige and tan and brown kind of colors here. But let's just see how this actually comes out. So we got ourselves some beef and some pearl barley, and it's in this it's a little bit of an oily film kind of thing, so obviously I'm sure they have some sort of oil in there. So yeah, let's give this a try. First time with a retort pouch kasha. It is very tasty, but One thing I'll say is it doesn't look too oily, but the minute you take a bite, you're just left with like your whole mouth being covered in this oily film, I guess is the best way to put it. I'm going to try a little bit of black pepper on here, and I just spilled a bunch on the table. Let's just try a little bit of black pepper on a bit. Let's see what that does. It's good. It's not overly flavorful. I mean, all you're really getting is just the barley sort of flavor and then the beef. But let's just try it with a little bit of black pepper. And yeah, that really brings it to life. I'm someone who likes black pepper anyway, so it's not much of a stretch for me to think that I'd enjoy something if it's got a little bit of black pepper added to it. But yeah, that just changes the whole flavor profile completely. Brings it up from a, I don't know, maybe a 5 to a 7 or 8 in my books. I'd say I actually probably enjoy this particular type of kasha more than I do this pearl barley kasha in the retort pouch. Just a personal preference of mine when it comes to taste. I don't know what anybody else sort of feels about it, but yeah, that's really, really good, and that's even better. Let's just try another little bit of our drink here. The beef that's in this, there's a lot more of that beef flavor, though, you're going to get in that compared to this type of kasha. So it's a little bit of the trade-off there. This here is a little bit more beady, a little bit more hearty, feels more homemade, while this, I think, overall has a better flavor. So that's the best way I'll put it. Not trying to tiptoe around or anything, but you know, that's how I would describe it. Let's, I guess all we have left now is our dessert items. So we got our crackers. Let's just give one a try on its own. Shouldn't be much different from obviously what the crackers were like in our first review. And there you have it. No big changes. Simple white wheat cracker. Nice and crispy. Goes pretty well together. So what we're going to do now is give our chocolate spread a little bit of a try. Going to use our Nutella Spife. It's actually pretty thick. It's a lot thicker than and more dense than Nutella is. Spread some out. And let's give this a try. Oh yeah. If you like Nutella, you'll love this. It's got a little bit of a different aftertaste than what you would get with Nutella. I don't know if there's some sort of preservative in here or just, you know, they use different ingredients or something like that. But for the most part, I would say it's probably 90% similar to Nutella. Just that aftertaste is a little tiny bit different. And obviously it's a little bit thicker. You can tell it doesn't spread quite as easily. It doesn't look quite as wet, I suppose, is the best way to put it. It's a little bit darker. You can tell it's a little bit drier. But yeah, this is fantastic. I'm going to very much enjoy finishing off that tub now once I turn off the camera. So yeah, let's go for another bite. And those crackers are great. You don't even need to take bites out of them. They're just big enough that you can sort of shove the whole thing in your mouth if you feel so inclined. What we have left? Well, just got our chocolate bar left. So obviously, once again, got our dark chocolate. Let's give that a try. And once again, that's just great dark chocolate. It's wonderful to have in this mountain ration. You get 5 of those. There's only one more left. The 2 extras have already disappeared. They've already been eaten. But yeah, this has been dinner. It's been pretty good, actually. I had some misgivings about the sausage. I don't know probably if it tastes better if it's heated up. I have no idea, but I'm not going to go ahead and heat it up. I'm not a fan of pates or luncheon meats or most other things like that. So I don't feel the need to go ahead and try it any other way. The kasha both ways has been great. I like this one a little bit more than that, but that's just sort of preference on my part. I'm sure other people like it the other way or hate one and love the other. You know, everyone's taste buds are a little bit different. So yeah, I'm just going to finish off what's here and what I want to finish off. And then we'll come back to you as quickly as we can with the supper portion of this review. So, all right, everybody. So we got supper laid out all here now. This is basically what we have left in the ration. Not every single item. There's a whole lot of extras still left there that I didn't feel the need to open up. There's an extra cherry drink. There's another cup of tea there. There's your coffee and all the disinfectant wipes, and napkins, and all that kind of stuff. Some extra crackers. I didn't feel the need to also open up another pack of crackers. There's 4 left from the dinner portion. So yeah, we'll just keep that as it is. What we got left is we got our other FRH pad. We've got our beef goulash, I think is the best way that translates. And then we've got 2 pates and a processed cheese with some crackers and another chocolate bar and another cherry drink, obviously. So I guess the first thing we can do is get our FRH ready again. So you just take the pad out, the heating element, throw it into our bag from earlier. Once again, eyeball a little bit. Felt like last time I might have put like a little tiny bit too much water in there, so a little less this time. See if we can get the element nice and activated. We'll throw our main in there. Got that taped over. And we'll let that sit there and do its thing. Hopefully, that'll quickly turn on and we'll see the big jet of steam like we did last time. Next, I guess we'll try out our drink again. And we'll pour the crystals in there. Same basic principles last time. We'll get a little bit of hot water for that, just to make a paste first, dissolve the sugar crystals, and then we'll add the cold water to it after. Okay, I kind of forgot what I was doing, and I was getting the hot water from the Keurig, and I put a whole 8 ounces in there. So, yeah, not a whole lot of space left for the cold water I'm going to add. Obviously, most of the granules of sugar are now gone because there's a whole, 250 mils of hot water in there. So we'll add some cold just to try to make it a little more drinkable. But yeah, it still feels pretty well lukewarm. I think I kind of ruined that one a little bit. Speaking of ruined, all the water is now gone, and the FRH pad feels like it's only just barely heating. So, speak of the devil, I was just about to say it doesn't seem like it's going to be working very well, and now it finally starts working. That's pretty powerful. And as you can tell, obviously the camera's going a little crazy trying to refocus itself with all that steam, all that gas escaping. So yeah, we'll let that sit there and do its thing. Open up the rest of our items. Got our good old dark chocolate bar here once again. This is the last one. And as always, looks fantastic. And then we got our cheese, Russian cheese spread. I usually like the cheese spreads that go with the majority of the military rations. I think I've had this one before, and it's not bad. Obviously, this one doesn't want to open properly. So we'll use our handy-dandy little arrowhead kind of thing. There we go. So it's a kind of a beige white sort of cheddar. I'm going to assume it's a cheddar. It's probably what it's closest to, I guess, a reasonable facsimile, I suppose. And then what we got left, well, we got our two items. I probably should have spread these out more instead of having them both at the same time. But yeah, we got our two pates left, so let's at least open those. I hate having sort of a negative outlook on things before I even start. But yeah, anyone who's watched my reviews before knows I'm not a huge fan of pate, and I'm not looking forward to this very much. Yeah, now that I've massacred that completely, I don't really need much more than that there for that. So yeah, we got our two types of pate. The smell coming off of them is not that great. Yeah, it's hard to be a little unbiased. I just really don't like pate. So yeah, you know, for the purposes of the video, obviously I'm going to try it, but I'm probably not going to enjoy it. That's the best way to put it. So the FRH is still doing its thing. I don't think I left the previous main in quite long enough, so we're going to let this sit pretty much as long as we possibly can. So what are we going to do? Well, I guess we'll try out our cheese spread first. Get a nice dollop of that there. And we'll try it out on one of our crackers. You can see it's got a fairly similar to cheddar kind of look to it. And yeah, that's a really, really, really good cheese spread. The last ration I had with this was already past its expiry date. So I think that may have been the deciding factor on why I wasn't a huge fan of it the first time. I think this time around it's a lot more fresh. The flavor is a lot better. There's no weird aftertaste. It's a nice sort of salty, you know, processed cheese kind of spread. Very similar, I think, to USMRE cheese. Now that I'm getting a good tin of it, I guess is the best way to put it. It seems pretty good, actually. I'm rather happy that I've got to try this particular ration, where all the items are still fresh, and it's giving a better outlook on everything. But to segue to poor outlooks, aside from bad outlooks, we have our two pates. So let's at least give one of these a try. I can't remember exactly. I believe this one is more of your liver sort of pate, and this particular one here, which seems to be a little bit more creamy. Obviously, you can tell there's a slight variation in the color and the grain. This one, I believe, is the sort of liver and brain pate, where this one's more of just liver. So yeah, let's give that a try. Yeah, I just don't like that. Sorry. A little bit of cherry drink to cleanse the palate. Very needed. Warm cherry drink really doesn't help a whole lot. Oh God. Yeah, let's give this other one a try. I believe this is one I've never particularly had before. I know I've had one very similar to that before in a round tin, sort of similar to the cheese spread. This one here, I don't think I've had it before. Yeah, just not a fan of that either. Yeah, the smell isn't great. There's just something about the whole thing that I don't find appealing. The smell, to start, is not pleasing. I don't like the flavor of it. The aftertaste is horrible, and yeah, I'm just not a pate person. I apologize to those people who actually enjoy pate. I know a lot of people that do. I know a lot of rations come with pate, and most of the time when it shows up, I'm not a huge fan of it. We'll see how various other ration pates seem to taste. I know I've got, you know, some Polish rations that'll have it, and you know, various other Eastern European rations. But these particular pates, yeah, not a very big fan. So what do we really have left? Well, all we have left, I guess, is our chocolate bar, even though I don't really need to say a whole lot more about that. It's the same exact thing we've seen twice before already, but you know, once again, we'll give it a try. So let's open up our FRH packet. Take our main meal out. This one feels like it's heated through a bit better than the previous one did. Tear it open. It also seems a little bit creamier, a little bit more wet, I guess, than the previous main. So yeah, we got beef goulash, and now that I have it here, it does seem very similar to the beef goulash that I had in a square tin in my IRP Menu 5 review I did some time ago. So it's probably the same exact thing, just in a different form, in a retort pouch as opposed to a square tin. So it seems like it's heated through fairly well. We've got a lot of sort of cubed potatoes and a little bit of a sauce, which may have a little bit of tomato in it. It's got that kind of color to it, and a few little pieces of what I guess are probably carrot, and then some chunked up sort of ground beef, I guess is the best way to describe it, although this particular piece here seems to have some grain to it, so maybe just sort of straight up pieces of beef. The color of the beef has more of a corned beef, you know, salt beef kind of look, if we can get the camera to zoom in. It's got that sort of reddish hue to it you would normally find in those sort of beefs, but yeah, let's give this a try. Well, I hate to complain, but I do find it to be a little bit bland, I guess is the best way to put it. So once again, we'll go to our trusty black pepper and see what that can do to help things out. Once again, this is a full gram of black pepper, and that's a lot. It's a lot of black pepper. So yeah, let's give a different piece a try now with some black pepper on it and see what that does to help the cause, as it were. Oh yeah, that changes things completely. We'll just take a little drink of this first. Oh yeah, drinking that warm is not great. Yeah, so our beef goulash. The potatoes have a nice consistency to them. The sauce that's there. I think I enjoy this particular one in the retort pouch more than I did in the tin. It seemed like it heated through better. And the flavor overall seems a little bit better, and the quality of the beef that they actually put in there, it's not quite as fatty. There is obviously sort of, you know, a lot of fat in the item itself. These Russian rations don't use a whole lot of preservatives or artificial preservatives compared to, say, you know, American rations or Western European rations. They use a lot more just sort of fat and salt, and that can, you know, sometimes make it probably not overly palatable for people who don't enjoy things that are really, really oily. This isn't as bad as the kasha was. It doesn't have that weird oily film left in your mouth, so that makes it a little bit better. Let's try a little bit on a cracker, just to see how these crackers go with the main. I'm sure this is probably what they were partially intended for, you know, act as a vehicle to get the food to your mouth. And yeah, that changes things up again. I would say it's probably actually less enjoyable with the cracker and the main together. I think the best way it tastes overall is on its own with some black pepper, and that's it. I didn't try it with any salt on it, but I usually don't add added salt to my food, so I don't think I'm going to try that way. But yeah, it's pretty good just on its own with the black pepper. So what do we have left? Well, we just got our chocolate bar once again, and can't go wrong with this. And yeah, once again, really can't say anything bad at all about this Russian dark chocolate. Very, very happy that they put 5 whole bars of it in the ration, which goes, you know, equals out to 100 grams of chocolate, which is exactly, I believe, the same as what the Polish 24-hour SRG rations would give. They give you a whole 100-gram bar in that form. Here, with this one, they give you 5 20-gram bars, which I think makes it a little bit easier, makes it a little bit more portable. It makes it easier to spread it out during the day instead of having one bar that you open and gradually take pieces out of as the day goes on. Yeah, so this has been the supper portion of our meal. Forgot to mention earlier when I started part 2 that this review is being done in tandem with Shocker71, who also does ration reviews here on YouTube. And Shocker's a great guy, and we realized that we had mountain rations, but he had the newer manufacturer type of mountain ration, and I had the older version. So he's already got his second part finished, and there were a lot of items that were similar, and a lot of items that were completely different. So I'll have a link to his page and his video in the description of this video. But yeah, you should go give him a watch and like and subscribe and all that kind of thing. So you know, we're trying to grow our numbers, as it were. And once again, I need to thank Russia MRE from eBay and Instagram for hooking me up with this ration. It's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, aside from the pate, but you know, that's just me. I'm just not a fan of pate. I apologize for that. So yeah, gonna come back to you guys soon with another review. Not entirely sure what the menu is gonna be. I got a number of things in the collection that I could probably do. A few nice sort of unique, you know, lesser seen rations, like a New Zealand 24-hour ration. If anyone would probably like to see that one, I could certainly probably try to do that one next. But yeah, there's a lot of great stuff in the collection, and it'll just be my choice, I suppose, on what I do next. So once again, thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a good one.